Salutations, readers. Welcome to or welcome back to the City Girl Writer channel. My name is Nkechi, and for today, we're just doing a random reading vlog. This is very much impromptu. I don't really have much planning prior to this. I was just like, you know what? I feel like vlogging, so let's do a random weekly vlog. So I hope y'all are here for the ride for me. Now, I really want to start this vlog tomorrow, but I just wanted to film this intro clip now since it is like 10, almost 10:30 at night right now on Wednesday. So yeah, so this vlog will go from really ideally Thursday to next Wednesday, but I'm starting on Wednesday night because I don't know. I tend to have this sense of inspiration and activity during the night, especially this late at night. So first up, let's talk about some books that I want to see if I will get to for this week. And that's assuming that I will read it because I'm a huge movie reader, so I probably won't really actively get through these books. But there is one book in particular I know for sure I will be reading for this vlog because there's just no way that I will not. And I'm going to be finishing The Surviving Sky by Kartika H. Rao. This is the first book in a trilogy. I think it's called the Rages trilogy. This is an adult debut. It's actually just a debut novel entirely. It's an epic sci-fi fantasy. It follows it's dual POV, following two characters who are a married couple, but they're having very much strife. It's troublesome kind of a marriage, and we have this floating city. Both of them have pretty important roles in the city and stuff to make sure it functions, and if something happens that might actually impact their chance of survival and that stuff. So yeah, I am really far into this book. Like, I'm on page 349, and I also have been reading this via audio, so there's that as well. So this is a hybrid read, and I am really enjoying this book so far. I definitely have a little bit of a chunk here to finish, but I do see myself finishing it pretty much before I go to bed, because I think the audiobook is like 18 hours long, and I do have about 4 hours left. So this is pretty much priority number one as far as to finish and give y'all my thoughts. In fact, I actually kind of want to start the reading vlog because I want to pretty much like tell y'all my thoughts on this book when I do finish it, so that y'all will be kind of like the first to know, quote unquote, depending on when this vlog even sees the light of day and when, so yeah, y'all will get to know my thoughts on this one whenever I finish. Now, those next books are really just going to be very tentative. It's like a matter of, okay, let's see if I actually read this, and also we'll see if I even bother to DNF these books too, because not only am I a mood reader, but I'm also someone who DNFs books. So if a book don't work for me, we DNF, we move on. Cool. So first up, I have The Black God's Drums. This is a novella by P. Jelly Clark. Now, yeah, this is a library copy, so you can't really see everything. Ugh. But I do know that this is, I think, what is this? I'm already forgetting the genre text. I think this is another sci-fi fantasy one. It's a novella, so it's really short. I think it's only like 110 pages. So I definitely see myself at least finishing it. If I do end up liking it, I will definitely finish it for this week as well. But I don't really know much else about it besides, I think it takes place in New Orleans, and we have, I think there's a Haitian character, and we have African Orisha, and yeah. Honestly, I was really just interested about this one because I recently read a Master of Jinn by this author based on a different world called the Dead Jinn Universe series books or novellas, whatever, in that world. And this one is outside of this world, so I'm just like, let me read more about this author. I want to read more of his work, so we have that. And then another book that I do want to see if I can get to this week is also to see. Also, I do have the audiobook for this one, so wait and see on like my thoughts. But I do have Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. I've heard about this book because of Bookstagram. I've been seeing a lot of people that I follow on Bookstagram really talk about this book, sharing this posts of other people talking about and reading this book, so why not? All I know is that this is, I think, a sci-fi novel. Yeah, this is a sci-fi novel. It's a queer sci-fi novel. And it's something about music and space and souls or something. I honestly don't really actively know what this book is about, but I do think that the best way to go about reading books, like especially with sci-fi, is to not know too much about it. And then another book, and that is Small Worlds. I do have the ALC of this. So, and I've already started it. I do kind of like it, but honestly, I don't really remember much about that ALC right now. So I think I'm going to restart it. And then there's some other like e-arc stuff that I may or may not get to. I probably won't actually get to it in this reading vlog or this month, but I do hope to at least start it sometime, maybe this week, sometime this month. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, yeah, these are the books along with Small Worlds that I plan to get through for this reading vlog. I'll have to update y'all whenever I do get through these books. And yeah, because I don't really know how to vlog, so I'm learning here. We're learning as we go along. So yeah, I will update y'all when I finish pretty much the Surviving Sky. So I'll see y'all then. Alright, update y'all. It is literally 5 a.m. I am tired. 5 a.m. on Thursday, yes. Day of the weeks. What day is that? I don't remember. Anyways, finally finished The Surviving Sky. I really, really enjoyed this book. I really did. I thought the world was so fascinating. And that's the thing when it comes with sci-fi fantasy books, is that the world has to be very engaging, interesting, and thought-provoking in order for me to like continue reading. If it ain't that, I ain't gonna read it, point blank. And this one was really, really interesting. I really like thinking about it and thinking like how it really affects like the characters, like our main protagonists, Ahelia and Aravan. And the audiobook I think was really, really good. I liked the two narrators a lot. I think I rated this, yeah, I think I'm going to give this 4.25 stars. It's not like I don't think it completely blew my mind or the water or anything. I think this world is just really, really good. I did like the narrators. I like how we learn more about the world. It's like we learn more about the world, but we're also dismantling what we thought about the world initially. And I think that's actually a pretty bold choice to do for a first book in a series. Like, if you don't know, this is actually a book that just came out like literally like last month. And this is the first in a trilogy. So for you to introduce your world, but then also somehow dismantle what we already knew about it, just as we just learned about it as well, is indeed a bold choice to do, especially for a debut author. So I will have to commend the author for being bold to do such a thing, especially for the type of world that this is. I just didn't give it anything higher because I feel like there's some parts with the world that kind of implies certain things that I don't fully appreciate, but I do think that's kind of more the fault of like how those characters in this world interpret the stuff. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to talk too many details because that can easily get into spoiler territory, but there are a few things in the world that kind of implies certain things that I don't really appreciate how it went that it might apply this way or that. But although it is meant to be that the system, that the world here that is built is indeed flawed and wrong, intentionally so, and we're trying to explore that. But I don't, yeah, that's just, I didn't like that kind of implication. And I also felt like something I kind of realized or noticed with some debut books, it doesn't matter if it's adult or YA, but I do notice a sense of repetition. And I do know that the repetition is in a way helpful, especially when you're trying to get a grasp on this world here, and you know, you're also breaking your world system and also learning some more things about this new one and learning information even for the characters themselves from based on what they knew. But sometimes that repetition can get pretty repetitive, but not trying to be too redundant here myself, but it's just that it can get very exhausting, and it's kind of even a little bit irritating that it kind of repeats itself a little bit. I know it's for intentional for like the characters and for us as the reader to understand the world a bit better, especially since again we are dismantling what we knew originally to something new, but it doesn't make things that much more enjoyable. But regardless of this, is still a really strong debut novel. I think that this is also a very strong start to a series, And I do look forward to reading book 2 in this trilogy. I think, yeah, the trilogy is called the Rages trilogy. And yeah, and I can definitely see why it's named that as such. So now I just have to wait for book 2. But anyways, yeah, just want to update y'all on that and to let y'all know that I'm tired. But hey, I'm not too tired that I can't update y'all and have some sort of coherent thought at least. But yeah, definitely recommend The Surviving Sky. But yeah, anyways, I'm just here to update y'all about that because that's really all I got. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to be reading next. I don't know if I'm going to have another audiobook. Actually, you know what? I probably would just read something physically because my head is getting tired of having my headphones on for hours on end. So yeah, so I probably will read a physical book or something. So yeah, I'll let y'all know what I decide to read and all the other things. So yeah, I'll let y'all know, and hopefully I'll get some sleep. I say knowingly. Salutations, everyone. This is just a general update. I don't really have anything reading wise to update on y'all. And for right now, I'm watching live reading sprints hosted by Lucia from Lucia Meets Books here on YouTube. I will link her down below. And also, I've been kind of working on my reading journal a little bit. So if you don't know, this is my reading journal. I just like to keep track of some books that I read, and it's actually more of a newer development, so I'm not really far into using it. But I do like to use it and all that stuff. And, you know, I like to have some stickers all over the place. And right now, I'm just actually finally finishing my title page for July, which I'm just like, wow, I finally finished this thing. But yeah, right now, I'm actually doing a really nice sunflower. I don't know. I just felt like this fits the vibe. And as far as the colors, it's definitely not accurate to what real sunflowers look like, I know. But I just think it's really cool. And then I have like this little monthly reader bingo, which as you can see, I do have a bingo right there in the diagonal. And yeah, and actually this reader bingo specifically is courtesy of Julie from Bujo Books, who I think actually she has a Booktube channel. So if she has a Booktube channel, I will link her down below actually as well. But she also has an Instagram, and that's actually how I got these reader bingos as well. And I like to keep track of all that as far as what prompts I complete for the month. But yeah, and also I'm also eating some dinner as well because I am hungry, and I got a drink as well. So yeah, I don't really have much of a reading update. I'm sorry, y'all. My brain is just thinking of The Surviving Sky right now, and yeah, even when I'm doing my reading journal, even before the reading sprints, I was just like listening to music because my brain is still thinking about that book. But it's not really a book hangover because I literally just finished it like literally this morning, so makes sense. But yeah, I will definitely let y'all know if I do read anything next. I just don't know what I'm gonna read next, and I don't even know if I'm gonna read any of the books that I said that I'm like, these are my tentative. Again, I did say it was a suggestive TBR, and I am a mood reader, so I don't know, maybe I'll read something else. And also, I actually did reorganize my shelf because if you watch any of my other videos, this is not how my shelf was. I reorganized everything. I actually organized it by books that I've read. So these books here and here are books that I've already read. Even with my Funko Pops here, I just have that for aesthetic. But everything here, these are books that I have already read. And then down from here and below are books I have not read. These are my TBR books down here, which actually really works for me as to figure out what books I'm in the mood for. I can look right here. Because this shelf right here is actually like books I actively want to read before the end of the year. Consider it my end of the year TBR, as you will. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll let y'all know when something interesting happens. Salutations, everyone. Today is Friday. It is 3 p.m. I actually kind of forgot to update y'all because I really did want to update y'all last night. To update y'all that I actually did read something in Lucia Sprints. In fact, she actually decided for me because I really could not decide what I wanted to read at all. Again, being a mood reader has its downsides. Okay, it just does. But I decided to start reading Light from Uncommon Stars. I started reading this via audio, and I am also hybrid reading as well, so I do have the bookmark here. And I made it to chapter 3, so I'm only 20 pages in. I'm not very far into it, to be honest. But I will have to say, as far as how it is, the structure and the story so far, I do find it interesting. I do want to know more about the actual story because, again, I'm not very far. But as far as like the actual structure of it, like how the story flows, it's interesting how we, as the reader, can move around from character to character within a chapter. And that, at least according to the synopsis, if I really didn't look at the synopsis, I would be confused on who's actually the protagonist here. Which I'm like, I don't know if I think, yes, there is a protagonist. I think there is a central person here. But I do think there'll be two other people in here that will also probably following along. Maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to continue reading to see if that's the case. But I don't know. The way that this is reading so far, it kind of reminds me of like The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. But not in lyrically, because I think writing styles are definitely different. But I feel like the vibes of The Vanished Birds and Life from Uncommon Stars are it's feeling similar to me. Even though the premises and the writing styles are different, but the vibes between the two books, I feel like they're comparable. But I'm going to keep reading, and then I'll let y'all know if that comparison is accurate or not. At least the way I'm thinking about The Vanished Birds, but we'll just wait and see. But another thing I want to update y'all is that I actually picked up a book from the library today. So it's actually a novella, a sci-fi fantasy novella. I think it's sci-fi more than fantasy, but I don't know. But it is The Mimicking of Known Successes by Malka Older. Yeah, I think it's actually a new release novella. I think it came out in March. Yeah, it came out in March of this year. I don't really know much about it. I just know that I remember hearing about this because of Angela from Literature Science Alliance was reading it recently. I think I don't know, maybe it was June or May or something she was reading this. And maybe go, this is interesting. I don't think Angela really like loved it, but like I think she enjoyed her time with it, which is good for me because I was curious about it and I had it hold and now it's here. Now as far as the plot, so basically it's a cozy gas lamp mystery and sapphic romance set on Jupiter. Yeah, I think I remember Angela describing it as a little bit like Sherlockian, a little bit like a Sherlockian mystery set in space. Which I'm just like, I am getting to more in mystery novels. So if I can get like a sci-fi fantasy mystery novella in there, cool. And actually, when I was looking at this too, I saw there's actually more than 150 pages. I think it's like 160 something pages. And I'm just like, that's a pretty long novella. I'm not used to novellas being that long. But I'm about to find out. So yeah, I think I might actually read it for this vlog. I don't know if I'm actually going to get to it. But it would be nice, I think, to try. Because why not? But yeah, I think later on today I'll probably will continue reading Life from Uncommon Stars. But I also wanted to work more on my reading journal. I don't know. I feel like since it's pretty close to the end of the month, this is usually the time where I'm just like, okay, let me think of what I want to do for August. And I do plan to participate in the Full Moon Readathon hosted by Jan from Dragon Agaton. So I do want to create my spreads for that and also plan for other things for August as well. But as of right now though, I definitely want to work on that. And yeah, I'll pretty much just update y'all when I have more things to update y'all on my progress and all the things. All right, coolio. Salutations everyone. Today is Saturday and I actually have a couple of updates. So last night I didn't continue reading this Life from Uncommon Stars. Instead I decided to watch a couple of movies that were actually pretty bad movies, which I'm just like, why did I watch those movies? I ain't gonna let you know what those movies are. If you want to know what movies I rated last night, look at my letterbox. Okay, it's gonna be, my letterbox is linked down below in the description. All right, it was a waste of time. So in order to cheer myself up, I decided to continue reading Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I'm already like actually halfway through as of like today, and I don't lie, I do like it. I do find it enjoyable. I do like Nelson's writing, the prose. I kind of like the story a little bit. It's a little bit more of, I don't know really how to say it with the passage of time, but time is kind of moving a little bit slowly. I think we're focusing on summers. I think the first part is like summer of 2010, and now in the second part we're summer 2011. This is definitely a time where this main character, Stefan, is graduating from high school, not getting to college, or trying to figure out college, trying to like figure out his life basically. And I think it really fits to the titular title of Small Worlds because everyone that's living in this world has their own small little world, and so they have their own kind of journey in I think for Stefan, he's just trying to figure out his life, trying to understand his own parents, because this character is Ghanaian, British Ghanaian, just like the author. And actually, fun fact, the audiobook is narrated by the author for this ALC. And I also looked to see about Open Water, the author's debut novel, if it was also narrated by himself, and apparently it is as well, which also actually really helps the experience, at least for me. So it feels like I'm learning more about the author, even though I'm not trying to say this is like auto fiction or semi-biographical at all. I do not know the author like that, but it just feels more personal since it's coming from the author. And it's also interesting to see how both of his novels are narrated by him. And I actually really like that. So I'm actually indeed very much enjoying myself with this. I'm actually not even sure how I would rate this, because it's not like I fully love it or anything. So I don't think this is gonna be a 5-star, but I'm not totally sure this would be a 4-star either. It might be close. I think it would depend on how it will end. I think, at least for the second half. Yeah, I think it's going to depend on how the second half will go. But for right now, I actually do enjoy it for what it is. I do like the story. It's kind of like I'm just hearing someone talk about their life story, not like in a biographical or memoir kind of thing. But kind of like, oh, this is just someone's day-to-day life kind of thing. I think it's kind of to be expected. Well, I don't think actually it is to be expected what comes with contemporary lit fic, because first of all, if you do not know, I don't really read a lot of contemporary lit fic. In fact, I read very little contemporary fiction. Contemporary fiction is not really the kind of genre I really gravitate towards, mostly because of the fact that I just get easily bored with contemporary fiction. But then, at least when the ones I do read, I tend to get pretty bored pretty easily. Even when it's more lit fic and the prose is nice, I still get bored. But this one though, I don't know. I'm just more engaged with this one, which is actually really, really good. And I'm thankful for that. So that when I do read Open Water, I don't know if I'll read in this vlog or not, but whenever I do read that book, I think I will actually enjoy it a lot more. Even though Open Water actually is shorter than Small Worlds, because I did also look at the audiobook length, and to the looks of it, Small Worlds is longer than Open Water, which is fine. I think the page length, if you go by page length, I think it's about 250 pages, and then Open Water is like less than 200, which is fine, honestly. I just find it very interesting is all. So yeah, I think I'm just going to continue to listen to that for the rest of the day, and I think I'll do that by playing the Switch. I actually am not usually someone who plays the Switch, mostly because I haven't been playing the game for a long minute. I mean, I think it's been about 2 years since the last time I've ever been much of a gamer of any kind. So it's actually kind of nice that I'm actually going back to playing Switch games now. I mean, not just Switch games, but just gaming in general. So yeah, so I'm just gonna play on this for a little while I listen to Small Worlds. So yeah, I will update y'all whenever I finish Small Worlds. Yeah. So I'll see y'all then. Salutations, everyone. It is Monday night. Actually, it's 10:30 p.m. So yeah, definitely have not updated y'all in a while. And also, I've just been playing the Switch as well. Been doing some Clubhouse games. So that's what I've been doing, at least of today. But I do have a few reading updates. First up, I think it was last night, I finished listening to Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson. This is the LC, so advanced listening copy. So thank you to Dreamscape Media for that, and also NetGalley. And I gave it 3.25 stars. I really, really did enjoy this one. I did really like Caleb Azuma Nelson's narration, voice, and style. I just really liked it. I think the writing style is also pretty good as well. It's just that I couldn't give it much higher because most of the topics and things, I just think they were just fine, even when there's writing and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just really hard for me to really talk about contemporary lit fic with like why I will rate it lower. I'm just like, look, it was just good, it was fine. It's not really a genre I tend to gravitate towards. And whenever I think of contemporary lit fiction, actually whenever I think about literary fiction in general, there's always this deep personal connection to you as the reader with like the writing style or the writing from the author. So if you don't feel that personal connection, I personally believe, this is just what I think literary fiction is for. It's just that literary fiction is a way for authors to convey emotions from their characters, but also to even get emotions from the readers. If you don't feel anything in this lit fic, then I don't think that particular author's for you for the writing style, or maybe it's just not that good in general. But all in all, to say that I did feel pretty emotional, because it is also even an emotional story itself. I don't think I even told you all the synopsis for it, but it really just follows a British Ghanaian boy, well, really a teenager named Stefan, and it actually follows through 3 summers, where one summer he graduates from high school, and the next summer and the summer after that, and pretty much like his life and stuff, and kind of like following through like how we as a human being, just one single human being can have multiple small worlds. It's kind of like that sense. It's very, again, very much lit fic, which I think is fine and all. It's just that for me as a genre, lit fic can really be a hit or miss. Not even quite a miss, like I would give it lower than 3, but more of a miss that I doesn't evoke an emotion out of me. I will have to say that there were a few emotions that I did get from it. I mean, I definitely felt sympathy, because there's also some pretty heavy content warning in here. First of all, grief and death of a parent is definitely very, very prevalent to the story. So I want to let y'all know. And I actually think that's I really did appreciate that part of the story regarding with that, because of how it actually affected Stefan and with his relationship with his father. Because his parents emigrated from Ghana to the UK, and there's that kind of history and that kind of story, and Stefan and his father's relationship was a little bit tumultuous, a little bit, because of difference of, from one generation to another kind of a thing. At least that someone who's Nigerian American can at least empathize with. I really did appreciate that part. I do think that part was well written. It's just the other stuff I'm just like, I wasn't too sure about, or I could care less about, especially with the romantic relationship between Stefan and I think Dal was her name. Honestly, I was really here for those. I was actually kind of here for them to be more on the platonic side, but when they went romantic, I was like, okay, this is fine. And other stuff happened with that relationship, and I was just like, I don't really care for it. And let you know, just because this is an ALC, the book is already out in the United States anyways. It's been out since last Tuesday, so it's been out for at least a little bit, but I'm not trying to spoil too much about it, but I think that's all I gotta say. But yeah, I do actually recommend it. So there's that. And then I recently read and finished The Black God's Drums by P. Djeli Clark. This is a sci-fi fantasy novella, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. It didn't blow me away or anything, but what I really appreciate about this particular novella is not just because of how short it was, but also for the fact, like, the writing style for it. It takes place, it's really interesting because it takes place in after the Confederate War, I guess, around there, but also it gets futuristic though, because there's airships and all that, so the technology is futuristic, but the timeline is not as future. It's not quite future, but I don't know, it's very interesting. It's alternate history, which I'm starting to realize that I really like it. I like P. Djeli Clark's style with alternate history. I mean, it's the same thing with the Master of Jinn, and it's the same thing here. But yeah, I really did like the world. I really like the world. I do like that you like the writing style, how it feels like it's, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it reminds me of a particular sense of dialogue, because it takes place in New Orleans, in early 1800s New Orleans. So it kind of gives that kind of dialect. And I really appreciate that. There's also some characters in there as well that talks in Haitian Creole. There's a lot of Creole in here, which I think was really, really cool. I think there's a Trinidadian character as well. I think Trinidadian side character. And also there's also the Yoruba Orishas in there too, which I actually think is really, really cool, which definitely makes sense for why that's in there. I do think that's actually really, really cool. I just didn't give it much of a higher rating because I don't know, I think I just like the story for what it was. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's amazing. It blew me out of the water. It's not a favorite of mine, but I actually prefer a Master of Jinn, to be honest, in that universe. But this one though, I like. But yeah, that's actually all my reading updates for you all. I don't really have much of anything else, but I will have to say that I do kind of have a game plan for how Tuesday and Wednesday are gonna go, because this vlog will end on Wednesday, and I have a plan as to how I'm gonna finish up some of my current reads. Not all of my current reads though, because there's still one more book that I'm I've been reading for a while. We'll see if I get to it. I don't think I'll get to this vlog though, but at least for tomorrow and Wednesday, I want to finish, please, I haven't even started this book. I want to read The Mimicking of Known Successes. It is a novella. I think it's only 160 something pages, so I do think it will only take me a few hours to read that. And then I want to finish reading Light from Uncommon Stars via audio. So the sooner I finish reading The Mimicking of Known Successes, the sooner I can get to the Life from Uncommon Stars. Or I can start with a Life from Uncommon Stars and then end my vlog with the Mimicking of Known Successes. Either way, the goal is to, for the next 2 days, to finish reading those 2 books. So I have to pretty much update y'all to let y'all know when that happens. I don't know how this is all gonna end up, but that's the game plan. I'll just update y'all when, I guess at the end of the vlog. Yeah, I guess my next update is pretty much when the vlog ends. So yeah, I will talk to you all then. Salutations readers, today is Wednesday and I'm actually just here to end the vlog. Even though it's actually in the middle of the afternoon, I think it's around 4 something right now, pretty close to 4:30. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna finish any more books, so let me just wrap this stuff up. So first up, I am DNFing the Mimicking of Known Successes by Malcolm Older. I'm just not here for the vibes here. This is more of a cozy gas lamp Holmesian murder mystery, and at least I think it might be a murder mystery. But even with the murder mystery, I don't want my murder mystery to be cozy, to be honest. I'm starting to realize, like, I don't think I want that to be cozy. I don't want that to be the vibe when I'm doing a murder mystery, you know? So yeah, not here for it. And I don't think I'm gonna root for the sapphic relationship in this one, or the sapphic romance, because like I don't really understand Masa, one of the main characters here. I just don't get her, like, on how she works or how her mind works. So I'm just like, you know what? Maybe you and I are just not meant to be. This is just not meant to be, and it sucks though, because I really thought I would like this as a concept. But also the way that the author does like stuff like regarding with like Jupiter and things, since the humans have left Earth and now they're on Jupiter, I'm not here for it. So yeah, I don't really care for this. So that's quite unfortunate. Yeah, it is what it is. But that's okay though, because I'm pretty much just here to end things. So just as a quick recap, I finished reading The Surviving Sky via audio and also hybrid reading. So yeah, finished that. This is a 4.25 stars. Really enjoyed this one. And then I listened to the ALC of Small Worlds by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I think I gave that one 3.25 stars. I really did enjoy it. I was deeply touched and moved by some aspects, but not so much on the other aspects. And I do think some other aspects I'm just like, maybe we don't need this here, or I don't know. It's contemporary lit fic. It's a hit or miss, but hey, I enjoy it. I recommend it, to be honest. So, and then I read The Black God's Drones by P. Jelly Clark. Really enjoyed this one. I give this one 4 stars. I really like the world here. It's just that, I don't know, I just really like the world. I just like it for what it was. I don't think it's amazing nor a favorite. It's just, this was a good time. So yeah, 4 stars. So yeah, I pretty much only managed to read, not a lot actually. I've only managed to finish reading 3 books and DNF'd 1 book. But hey, that's kind of how it usually is. I don't usually read more than 3 or 4 books in a week. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel with like doing reading vlogs in the future, but I do want to like work on doing that some more, at least to attempt. I mean, it couldn't hurt to at least try to do more weekly reading vlogs, right? It couldn't hurt. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching this reading vlog if you made it this far. And yeah, comment down below. Have any of y'all read any of these books, especially like The Mimicking of Known Successes? If any of y'all read this one, let me know y'all's thoughts. It's a new release though, so it's okay if you haven't. So, if you like the video, comment down below your thoughts, subscribe, all the things. Look in the description if I leave anything. I tend to like put some stuff like, my social media links are also in the description. Now, if you made it this far to the video, you're not sure what to comment, but you want to know but you want to let me know you're here, comment down below either a plant emoji or a sky emoji, any variation of a plant or a flower, or even a sky, in honor of the surviving sky, to let me know. And yeah, thank you all again for coming on to this video, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye bye.